Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldis and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show. All right, Scotty, take it away, buddy.
Scotty Holmes, Friday Night Flies. Yeah, we're back again for fifth show of the evening, and I think I'm going to be the last one.
No, Zach has still got a show tonight.
Zach has still got a show, and he's got a great fly coming up last.
Yeah, practitioner.
The practitioner. Yeah, I saw a picture of it on Facebook. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. So, okay, I know it's chum season, and I'm fishing for chum. Definitely fishing for chum. But I was thinking that it'd be kind of nice to have a little bit of a shorter show tonight, so it's not really long. And also, there are some of the fans that are possibly not able to fish for salmon right now, and that would leave lakes or possibly rivers. And this fly, I used it in the river, but I killed it in the lakes with this fly. It's unweighted, has a really nice movement and a really nice glow to it. This micro shale that Brad turned me on to by Superfly is awesome. And it
is it green by chance?
No, this is brown.
I mean the color of the spool label.
The label is white.
White, okay.
And that's why. Is it flashing? It's flashing.
I think he was showing the video on it. I don't know why.
Okay. But anyway, so that was my thinking. I was thinking, okay, we'll do something that's not a salmon fly and something that really worked well for me this summer. So there you go. That's the plan.
It's something quick since we've been doing nothing but 30-minute flies.
Quick, yeah. Okay. So let's go down below. We'll take a look.
We're there, bud.
Okay. So there you go. A little slow roll. You know, I'm calling it the PT variant. It's basically a form. It's not a pheasant tail. It doesn't have pheasant tail. I have tied it with pheasant tail as the tail. But it's basically kind of like a pheasant tail, yeah? Is that what you'd say?
Ish. It's like a
pheasant tail-ish? Yeah.
That covers the bases of a few different things. Yeah. I was thinking it was like maybe a small damselfly or a stonefly. It could be numerous things. It covers a bit. It's kind of like your Doc Spratley of the
nymphs. Okay, so there we go. That's that. I'm gonna pull that out of there. We're gonna get started and get finished.
Oh boy, dangerous. Is that an apple strudel? Apple fruit.
Okay, we're in. We're in and ready to go. Okay, first what we're going to do is get our hair out of our way, and then we're going to start with getting our thread on. One thing I do like about this vise that I don't have on my vise is that the way the head sits, you can sort of rest your hand there. Mm-hmm. Give yourself a little bit of a cradle.
You can put your clip right up to it too, so if you're doing real fine stuff, that's another thing I like about that head. Clip moves and it gets right tight.
Yeah.
And the cam lock is my favorite part of it.
Okay. There we go. So this is a pheasant tail pelt. It's just a regular, one of the lower feathers or one of the middle feathers. It's hard to tell. Be one of the chest feathers, I think. Breast feather, sorry, yes. But the nice thing about buying the full carcasses is that you get a whole selection, a whole range of different colored feathers, and I picked this one because of the coloring, the modeling. It's got like the brown, the black tips, the brown, or the black, the white, and then a little bit of modeling on the end. And I want the body to be almost a full, or the tail almost to be a full length of the shaft. Okay. There we go. We got that on there, and then we're just going to bring the thread up.
Got off a natural feathered cape.
This is the natural feathered cape, yep.
That's what I gotta get. I got a green. I got an orange. Not very useful.
Yep. And I'm going to attach my wire. And this is a pretty sparse fly. I'm attaching it. I always want to keep my body uniform all the way down. And then we're going to tie on our chenille. Roughly to that same spot, maybe a little bit further down towards the eye. And then now we're just going to build up our body a little bit, wrap this all back, get a little bit of a taper going. This is a fine hook, a fine wire hook. I found it was holding the fish a little bit better. Okay, so then we're going to wrap up our chenille. Don't let it go. Don't let it go again. Okay. So there we go. We got our chenille tied on. I'm going to wrap up our wire. You really need the wire with this pattern. If you get a couple fish into this and they bite on that chenille, they break it, it's coming all off, so it'll just unwrap. It's kind of up to you how many wraps you want. I usually do 5 or 6. I've got 5 there. We'll say 6. We're probably gonna cover. Oh, and it happened. Go. That I was thinking, you know what I was doing when I was just getting ready to tie, I was thinking, it's been a while since I busted my thread, but
Bound to happen when you're live.
yeah, it's bound to happen here and there, yeah. But no big deal because I was basically done that step anyways. I'm not going to wiggle that wire off today. I'm going to be happy that I got the thread back on and I'm going again. So there we go. Okay, now we're going to put on our thin skin. And I really like this mottled orange stuff. For a lot of nymphs, it's got a great color, great tone. And it's not natural. I mean, you could use pheasant tail fibers, but they tend to get shredded fairly easily, which I guess is part of the attraction as well. Okay, so there we go. We got that on there, and then we're gonna put our legs on. So what I've done is I've just carved a little V like that. I'm just gonna turn the vise a little bit so I can see and make sure that it's sitting right. Maybe a few too many on there. Yep, something like that. Okay, and then we're going to throw a little bit of dubbing in there. This is who we should be sponsored by, a Spiky Squirrel. For all the flies we tied.
Dude, you should be on their pro
Yeah,
staff.
I should be on their pro staff. You're right. I'm going to have to write them a letter. Shoot them an email.
That's your nickname is Spiky Squirrel, isn't it?
I tie a lot of flies with it.
Jighead or Spiky Squirrel?
Jighead and Spiky Squirrel. Okay, so you don't want to have that happen. I don't want to crowd the front of the hook, just like Eden was saying. I need to tie that thin skin off. But I do want to get a bit of dubbing in there. Okay, so there we go.
Split those legs.
Yeah, it's not wanting to do it though. It's a little bit long. Okay.
Got him. There you go.
I can feel it. It's going to happen. It's the thread needs to be spun. Okay, so there we go. So what happened there was I left a little bit. It was a little bit stocky. You see that? Yeah.
No. Put it on its side. Let's have a look. Just don't lose your. Maybe tie it off first, bud.
Whip finish.
Yeah, whip finish.
Before
Because you look at you're really tight on the head there.
I had a little bit too big of a piece of stock left on that fly. I should have trimmed it a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it didn't work out exactly the way I wanted, but there you go.
Well, it still looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Still looks really good there, Scotty. And like I always say, it's not always the best one you tie that catches fish.
It's the grumbling stomach.
That's right, that too.
And I tied a couple of them with a hot spot, with the red hot spot there.
How does that fly swim? Does it swim true or is it roll or?
No, okay, so here's the reason for the thin skin. Was that before I was using pheasant tail and then I was putting the UV cure on top of it, and I was finding that it wasn't actually swimming on its side or doing any of that. It was just completely rolling over, right? And then as soon as I started using the thin skin, it started riding.
You want here? Let's go up top and you can tell us a little bit more about that fly, and then we'll get going here. All right, we're up top.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I'm using the thin skin there. I'm not using any UV cure. I was finding that with some of these flies, and especially in the smaller sizes, that the UV cure, unless if you just have it on the top level of the fly, on the top of the fly, that it was. I mean, that's extra weight you're adding to the top of the fly. So all it's doing is it's just turning over, and you're right. I mean.
And that's all right in the river when you're nymphing.
Yeah.
Because it's just tumbling around. But
Yeah.
if you're putting it on a lake, like you said, you're fishing this one.
Yeah.
It inverts your fly upside down.
Yeah, and you know what? Until I sort of really realized that, like, I caught a couple of fish and I was like, yeah, I'm hooking them on the upper part of the jaw with an upside down fly, right? So then it was like, what do you need to do to fix the problem? And that's when I was thinking about what Brad was saying about the weighting and the balance of making sure that the balance is even around the whole fly. And this definitely worked well. I mean, the pheasant tail works really, really well too. I mean, but I wouldn't put UV cure on it. Like, you can just use the pheasant tail, like traditional pheasant tail. Do that. Don't put any UV cure on it because you're gonna have issues with it rolling.
That pattern with peacock curl would be nice too.
Yeah, and I like that micro chenille though, you know, just because it's so easy to use.
Oh, it is.
Substitute.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, and you don't really know, you don't go, oh my god, that is a chenille. You can't even really tell, you know.
No, it's buggy, man.
But anyways, yeah. So just watch when you put this feather on. Maybe do a little split before you get all anxious and tie it off. Should have did that a little bit better, and I probably wouldn't have had that problem. But it still looks good. It's gonna.
Just give us a side profile. We're gonna go back down there. Give us a quick thumbnail. Just give me the side
Like this?
Yeah, right there. Just hold it there for a half second. Perfect. The thumb. We got the thumb and the thumbnail. Okay. Anyhow, you do your thing, and we're gonna get out of here.
Okay. Well, yeah. Friday Night Flies. I'm gonna tie a chum salmon fly for next week. I've got a couple that I've been using. They've been killing it.
Well, you know what it is, Scotty. Like I said something to you.
Here, Scotty, pass me my fly, and I'll show. I'll show
I
'em.
want your secrets, man. And that's all this is about.
Yeah.
It's about sharing secrets.
Well, no. Okay,
and
guys.
And you said to me the other day you were down there and you smoked them.
Yeah. Well, I did.
And then you come in here and not share
This.
that recipe. I'm like, come on. You
Okay.
smoked them and you
Okay,
ain't gonna
there
share.
it is, right there.
There it is. Wait for next week.
That's what I was using this week. I'm fishing in a shallower section of the river. It's probably at its deepest, maybe 4
Or
feet.
hold it down. Try and get it right back to where the other fly is. There you go.
Yeah,
Down a
maybe
little
I'm fishing in maybe 3 to 4 feet. So I went completely unweighted and a little bit more sparse. And you know what? It was killing it. I was catching fish. I thought I foul hooked one fish the whole time.
All right, get it out of
Okay,
there.
okay, bye.
That's next week's.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Scotty Holmes, hanging out with the guys that tie flies. Until next time, bang!